Okay, this is our next lesson on crime and deviance. We're carrying on looking at sociological theories of crime. So in the last lesson we looked at functionalists and Marxists. Let's go a bit deeper. So we're going to learn about some more theories of crime, understand how they work, and develop our sociological perspective, our way of looking at the world, our perspective. In the book, we're on page 104. Keywords: peer group, status deprivation, spelled wrong, values, norms, reward, respect, antisocial behaviour, vandalism, joyride, graffiti, subculture. So these keywords should give you a lot of clues about what we're going to be talking about in this lesson. How do we explain these crimes? We're going to be looking at how do we explain vandalism, graffiti, etc., antisocial behaviour. People go and enjoy. How do we explain them? The functionalist theory doesn't explain them. The Marxist theory doesn't explain them. What explains them is peer groups and status deprivation. Yeah. Peer group, your friends, status, the respect you get. If you have status deprivation, you are deprived of status. You receive low status. People look down on you. Values, norms, you know what that means. Okay, so peer groups and crimes. I'm hoping before I even talk about this, you can already think your way through it. If you suffer from status deprivation, if at school you're in bottom sets, everyone thinks you're a lazy scumbag. If you're on the street, everyone thinks you're a lazy scumbag. No one respects you, no one's got much time for you. You might suffer from what's called status deprivation. If you're poor, you know you're poor, you don't like it, blah, blah, blah. So you form a peer group. It's friends who are similar to you. And you all suffer this deprivation together. But you don't just put up with it. Instead, you find ways to gain status. Like all humans, you would like high status. If the mainstream society won't give it to you, maybe your peer group will. So you change. Your little group has its own values and norms. The things that everybody else thinks are bad, you think are good. So you graffiti walls, you smash up bus stops, you go for a little thrash and a moped over the park because you gain high status from your peer group for doing this. You might continue to get low status from everybody else for doing antisocial behaviour, but you solved your problem. You formed a subculture, and in your subculture, its values and norms are that doing these things are good. They gain you status. So there are untold examples of this, probably from your own street. Yeah, one example we've got here. This old chap here, learned difficulties. Yeah, he died at being taunted for years and years and years by groups of local lads, local kids. I'll show you a video of it in class. It's not enough to say, oh, those kids are scum, no, they're mindless. It's not mindless. It's not nice, but it can be explained. They were taunting him, bullying him in groups, and they were gaining status from each other for their actions. Yeah, and you can think, we'll come up with more examples in class, really shouldn't be a problem. A star point. Explain this crime. In the Wycliffe Centre, a youth threatens you with a knife and takes your phone. Why? Yeah. It's not just the phone. So it's part Marxist, part what we're talking about today, isn't it? By stealing the phone, gaining something of material value, that would fit into the Marx explanation. Getting things. But taking it off you in the Wycliffe Centre, probably with his friends watching, is also gaining status. It's a bit of both. That's why it's the A star point. It's not this explanation. It's this one crime can have a mixture of explanations to it. Talk about more in class. And we'll do an essay. This is one I've seen, and it is quite difficult at first, but you think it through, quite straightforward. So we discuss how far sociologists would agree that subcultures, peer groups, and status deprivation explain both the vandalism of a bus stop and poor behaviour in a classroom. So the reason this is a good essay is you'd have to range across sociology, not just talking about crime here, we're also talking about education. In both cases, we've got labelling, we've got a self-fulfilling prophecy, we've got status deprivation, we've got peer groups, we've got antisocial behaviour, we've got bad being good, and we'll talk about that more in class and put an essay together.